Welcome to Cosmic Channels. I'm your host, Braden. This is your Cosmic Call-In show. I just host it, but tonight I am not alone. Joining me tonight is a co-host that I co-host Alien Theorists Theorizing with, Daddies and Baddies with, Sports Conspirators, and maybe a couple other in the future. Welcome to the show, Andrew. Welcome back to the show, Andrew.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So we're the little, guest host. Thought we'd mix it up a little bit for tonight. We had a bit of miscommunication. I was going to have Andrew host the show himself, and he thought he was just going to guest host. So we had to, reconfigure things on the fly. But hey, that's what we do here on Cosmic Channels.
Go with the flow.
We go with the flow. But just hey, listen, the lines have been popping off nonstop every week. Can't thank you guys enough for supporting the show. There's easy ways to support the show. Number one, call in. Tell us your story. Just like this person here. We got a call on the line. We've got Mikey P. What's going on? Where are you calling from? What do you got for us tonight?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm calling from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have a little ghost story to tell you.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
So, story starts about last August, and me, my girlfriend, and her family all went on one of the Carnival cruises and somewhere to Mexico. It was a great trip, but one of the nights I will always remember because it was fucking terrifying. So one night, we're walking down the stairs on this boat from dinner or something, going to our room to freshen up and then go to this comedy show. And we're walking down the stairs, and in the middle foyer area, there's elevators on the left and to the right. And there's people getting on the elevators, and there is one old woman, I'd put her around 70, 80, in a long gray dress, staring at me when I'm walking down these stairs. And I'm staring back at her like, whose grandma is this? Why is she staring at me? And we turn that corner, and I look back. Nobody's there. Everybody had already gotten on the elevators. And I was just super confused because this lady wasn't probably 5-10 feet from the elevator, so she couldn't have got on by the time they had closed. So we go through our night. We're sitting down at that comedy show, and I talked to my girl, and I said, hey, that was super weird. I don't know whose grandma that was. And did you see that old lady? And what she said scared the crap out of me. She goes, what old lady? So my mind was like racing, like, did I see a ghost? I don't know what's going on. And all through the rest of the trip, I was saying, are you sure you didn't see this lady? She was like, yes, there was nobody there. There was only the people getting on the elevators.
This actually brings up a new fear of mine now, because I never thought of like Carnival Cruise Lines as a hotbed for paranormal activity, but you got to think that there's tons of people who fucking pass away on these cruise ships.
Buddy, that lady right there is the main clientele for a cruise.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the age range for cruise. No offense, Mikey P. Like, I'm sure you had a great time, but like, elderly people love that shit. I've seen somewhere where it's cheaper for elderly people to live on a cruise ship than to fucking check into a care home. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
People in the chat are saying some of them have their own morgues. Like that.
Oh yeah.
That's insane to me, because now I'm like, dude, we're talking about like spirits that are like, step away from this world, and now they're not home. They're fucking at sea all the time. Like I've never even thought about the like cruise lines being hotbeds for paranormal activity.
Oh, dude, it's wild. I mean, if I had the chance, I'd like to be a ghost on a ship, going to Mexico all the time. So.
But I wonder, like, because I mean, in that situation, like where they've passed away on the ship, I wonder if there's, you just saw it and then it disappeared or vanished. So it's like, it's hard to, figure out if it had malicious intent or anything, because part of me wonders if these spirits are like longing to go home. You know what I mean? Like they want off the fucking cruise.
This ghost was longing for the buffet line, I think.
I know I was.
So ever hear of anyone else having like stories like this or anything on the cruise? You ever talk to anyone else?
All I researched it after we got back, and I've seen that, like what you guys are saying, a lot of elderly people stay on these cruise ships because it's cheaper than, living in these expensive homes and getting all this care, and you get free food and get to travel the world and stuff. So it would make sense that there's a lot of spirits on these ships.
Well, now I want to look into like, how many people have these kind of experiences on these ships. I've never even once made this connection of cruise lines being hotbed. Now I want to go and book a cruise and come show up kitted out, EMF readers, heat guns.
That's the next pod trip.
Yeah. That's the next time we're going to be able to afford a pod trip, is when we're that age, ready to.
Oh, shit.
Mikey, that's awesome. What do you think? So, like, what is your final thoughts on that thing? What were you thinking about it?
I'm thinking I'm going on another cruise. I got to figure this out, man.
How long ago was this?
I think this was like last August.
Oh, shit. Recently, too.
Yeah.
Man, that's so spooky. Now I'm so intrigued to know, like, the history of some of these boats, and I'm going to have to dig into this after it and, I find out. Yeah, yeah, Mike, someone in the chat saying you're going for research purposes. It's a good excuse.
Very good excuse to go back on the cruise.
Mikey, thank you so much for calling in, being the first caller. You called nice and early. If you ever want to be the first caller, Mikey called 15 minutes early. That you are the record.
20.
And he just hung out with us while he was listening to me having an aneurysm, trying to set everything up, being a good sport. But I need you to cast that all out of your mind, and I need you to send your mind to my studio here and tell me what's in the box.
I'm gonna go with a box of Milk Duds.
It is not a box of Milk Duds. Mikey, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your ghost story. Now, if you have a Carnival Cruise Line ghost story, and this is or some weird shit's happened to you on a cruise, I want more cruise ship stories. Thank you, Mikey, for calling in. Have yourself a good night.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Bye.
I guarantee you, there's tons of people that have weird stories on cruise ships.
Oh.
How many elderly couples try to fucking pick you up to swing? Like, let's go.
Okay, well, hold on. I should maybe specify what kind of stories we're looking for here. Just like that, the lines are open. 1-833-703. God damn, they're firing off tonight. You know the number. Callers take priority. Let's go right to the call. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Forrest from Southeast Missouri.
What's going on? Are you a first-time caller?
How's it going? Yeah.
Right on, man. I like it.
I haven't listened to Cosmic Channel since you guys were on Sundays.
Yeah, Sundays. Boo! Thursdays. Yay! What do you got for us tonight?
Well, I got a couple short stories. They're really short, but they're both UFO stories.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So the first one is, me and my girlfriend were going home from a rodeo, and it's kind of like this flat area. There's a bunch of trees. It was hilly. We come up over this ridge, and it's like really clear. You can see the sky, and there's these three just dots in the sky, brighter than stars. They kind of looked like planes, but they weren't moving, but they were just perfectly apart from each other. We go down the hill, come back up the ridge. They're still there. Kind of levels out. It's really woody where we were at. It clears up again, and they're gone.
Weird. So they're just hanging in the sky. What color were these lights?
They were like brown, yellowish. I don't know. It was kind of cloudy. It wasn't like a clear night, but they definitely were brighter than stars.
And you just see them like through when the clouds were passing. Like, so could they have just maybe clouds passed in front of them, and that's why he
Well,
lost
no,
sight?
the clouds didn't really pass in front of them. It was just kind of like, hazy.
Okay.
So you see like the light through the clouds.
Interesting. And no separation. They just kind of stayed hovering.
Well, they just stayed in the same exact spot in the sky.
Any
Like-
discernible shape between the three, or were they just kind of like in a line?
They're kind of like Orion's belt, but a lot bigger and brighter. Just like kind of like staggered, not like perfectly straight. but
Yeah. Interesting.
And then they just disappeared, or did you see them like take off?
No, well, we just came up over the ridge and they weren't there anymore.
Interesting.
Now, what do you
Yeah.
like? Anything? See, like just with that story, no noises, no weird feelings. I know some people say they feel like a connection to the lights, like a weird anything like that.
No, I mean it was pretty interesting because I never seen something like in the sky in that formation like that.
Interesting. And a brownie yellow.
So it kind of just caught me off guard. Really, it wasn't like I didn't feel anything else.
And definitely long enough. You definitely had an eye on them long enough that you're like not flares or anything like that. Like any chance like you're by
they
the
weren't
ocean
like
or anything.
flickering or anything. They're just like lights.
Okay. Right on. That's
Yeah.
And whereabouts was this?
This was Illinois, on close to a river, kind of like South Illinois.
Interesting. And do you have any? How long ago? Like what year was this?
This was last year, probably maybe like early to midsummer, because it was pretty hot.
Interesting.
We had the windows down, so yeah, it was around summertime.
Any news reports or anything you hear of anyone else seeing sightings in the area at the time?
I couldn't find anything on it. I mean,
I would
didn't
check.
know if
I
they
would
were,
check
like,
MUFON,
airplanes or something,
but I can't right now. Their servers got hacked. So, but
Of course.
I'll log this down and then I'll check to see in the area.
It's all
once
part of
they're
the
back up.
plan, man.
Yeah.
Get
But
rid of the
and then the
truth.
second one, this one's kind of fucking trippy. I was driving home, and like this was like pretty recent. I was driving home from work. It was dark, and there's this radio tower, like all like dead ahead on the road that I take home. So I always see it every night. It's always got the flashing lights and everything. And this one didn't have the top light flashing, so I thought it was kind of odd. And the road like gets really close to the tower, and there's just like this fucking dark thing on it.
On the tower?
So like Mothman.
Like it looked like it was just covering the light, just like this dark thing.
That's Mothman.
Dude,
It was like pretty big. Like it wasn't like, it was kind of like a weather balloon, but it was just dark, like nothingness.
like nothingness. See, this is like if
And I tried to get a picture of it or a video, and my camera would not even pick it up.
it's so interesting to me because there's been so many people in the last couple of weeks who have called and talked about what I'm going to call the void now, and it's just this this object in the sky, and the only way they can see it is they say it's an absence
It's
of light.
just black.
Yeah.
It's just literally
And
that's
so
all it is.
just so to paint a picture, because so many people have said the shape, but like you're saying that on this tower, this thing looked like it was covering and I'm just going to use
It
this.
looked like it was just on top of the tower, like where the light should be.
Oh, it's just hovering there.
I don't know if it was sitting on it or if it was floating over it with it in it. It was, because I always see the light. I always drive right by this tower, and that I just seen that thing, and I was like, what the hell? So I stopped. I couldn't hear nothing because my exhaust is so loud, and I didn't want to shut off the car in the middle of the road. But yeah, I was sitting there, pulled out my phone, and it wouldn't even like pull it up. It just,
That's so wild. It's honestly, it's making me think more and more that because we always say if things were visiting us and they're having these flashing lights, it wouldn't be a good way to kind of hide. But now that you're
yeah, they'd have to be like pretty close.
Yeah, and it's like
They
now
wouldn't
that
give
we
themselves away.
and now we hear this kind of nonstop. Like I've been hearing these stories and stories of like, I'm gonna say this like Vanta Black void, like that just you can't see through, but you're
I'll
like
have
it's
to go
so
back
dark.
and listen to the rest of the lives because this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, so if you start from about 7.4 on, I think I've had almost a call a week where someone's described in different scenarios where people have come out and just seen this thing, and they're like, it's not that they even could see a discernible shape. It's that they
It kind of looks round, but it's also just like so black.
Yeah, and it's
dark, like you can't really tell.
And the only way people could see it is like if it moved or something, or if it was drifting, it would block the stars, and that's how they could tell.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm wondering too, like
that would be
the fact that you couldn't pick it up with your camera, right? Like, because I know there are some colors that cameras can't really capture. Right? I wonder if it's some type of color that's not even on that spectrum. Like just something that it's almost like camouflage to any type of technology, except for the the naked eye.
Well, and our cameras suck so much ass as soon as the sun goes down that if it's like a black object with a black background, you're basically fucked unless you had a spotlight on this thing.
I mean, we've come a long way.
Even the
since
other lights on the
Motorola
tower, you didn't shine a light on it. It was
That's-
almost like non-reflective too.
That's so weird.
like it's sucking in like
Yeah, it's just like a void, like a
weird
Yeah.
black hole.
yeah.
'Cause it's pretty close to the light underneath it, and it wasn't like the light wasn't flashing on it or anything.
Weird, like something that just
That is
gives off
weird.
absorbs all light. That is so strange.
Yeah. I
Um,
want that.
That would be
car
the
paint job.
ultimate camouflage, though.
Yeah.
You just there's no way of being able to to see it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
And to move at
crazy.
night is perfect.
yeah. I mean, and that would be like if we're talking like these highly intelligent extraterrestrial crafts. To me, something like that would make way more sense than coming down and flashing all these lights. You know what I mean? Like you would be
What I also
complete
want to know
stealth.
is what it was doing on that tower.
Well, part of my brain goes to like I wonder if it's sucking the power, like sucking the energy, like if it's it goes by these things to
I
just
don't know.
absorb
it
some
didn't
power.
It didn't affect the other lights. I
Yeah.
was thinking maybe it was receiving data that got sent to that tower.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. It's just absorbing the radio frequencies or frequencies coming in, getting picked up.
Yeah.
interesting.
Someone in the chat saying, did the camera show the tower just like normal?
I mean, it was dark, so it was picking up the lights on the tower, but
It wasn't doing it justice.
It would just show that the light on the top of the tower wasn't there.
Yeah,
It wouldn't just.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
What do
yeah,
you?
big time?
And where did you see this?
This was southeast Missouri
And
on my way home.
and how long ago?
This is probably a couple weeks ago.
Really, that recently?
Oh,
Holy
shit.
shit!
Yeah,
Could-
this is the first time I'm telling the story.
Do you have the
I
picture?
haven't told to anybody.
Do you have the picture at night of the
Yeah.
tower?
I didn't take a picture because it wasn't really showing anything.
Oh,
It was just
You couldn't see it.
yeah, I went to go take a picture or a video, and it just would look stupid.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just get a map and just pin drop where that tower is? I'm just for my own personal curiosity I'm gonna start plotting where people see these black voids. Now that I'm hearing more and more stories about them, so if you don't mind, just send it to me via email or on socials.
Yeah, I'll try and hit you up on the socials. I'll probably hit you up on Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you so much for calling in with that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
You guys have a good night.
You too.
Take care, buddy.
It's terrifying.
It's weird, man.
That's way scarier to me than seeing lights. I'm like this, like
The void.
it's just sinister. It's way more sinister.
Well, it's interesting to me because my mind automatically goes to some type of cloaking technology, whether it's terrestrial or not. Who knows, right? Either that, or maybe it's just some fucking cryptid that just soaks up all fucking light around it. And
Yeah.
you just can't see anything, right? Like the fact that it's to me, it's like it's perched on the tower.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Like, that's what my mind went to. That's why I thought Mothman, because the way
Yeah.
it's like a bird,
Yeah.
perched on this fucking tower,
it's like
right?
yeah, weird. Just like that, the lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. I'm pretty sure someone's on hold here, but before I release the call, easy ways to support the show. We got Super Chat. We got the PayPal QR code there. Or head to Cosmic Channels, crowdmade.com/collection/Cosmic Channels. Get yourself a t-shirt. But the lines are open. So if we got a caller, let's get them on the line. Here they are. Callers take priority. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Lane from South Carolina again.
What's going on, Lane? How are you doing?
Good.
What do you got for
How
us
y'all
tonight?
doing?
Oh, we're not doing great, man. Excellent. Thursday night. Listen to some spooky stories.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been watching the stream, and it's been good so far.
Right on, man. What do you got for us?
I got a ghost story for you.
Beautiful. Let's hear it.
All right. I will preface this saying I was like 5 or 6 when this happened, but one day I was cleaning out my closet. My mom was mad at me for some reason. I obviously can't remember why, but as I was cleaning out the closet, I heard a woman, it wasn't my mom, but I thought it was, call out, "What do you want for lunch?" And it was like perfectly clear, but it was just weird. Like, little me brain, it was like, that doesn't sound like mom, but I think that's mom. And yeah, and like normally I would just throw this away, like this isn't normal, but everyone except for my dad had an experience with a ghost type entity in that house. Like my 2 of my brothers heard voices coming from our laundry room. My mom was taking a shower one day, and she was home alone, and the bathroom door just opened by itself.
That's
And
terrifying.
it was, so yeah, like looking back, it's like that experience, it stuck with me for whatever reason, and just hearing them tell their stories about it, it was like, okay, maybe there was something in that house.
It's interesting because it seems like it's like a nurturing ghost, though. You know, it's like asking if you want anything to eat. It's hanging out in the laundry room. Like, that's...
Yeah, like very motherly presence.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, other to your mom, I'm sure your mom felt a little
Threatened?
threatened.
Well, it's probably coming after your mom,
Yeah.
right?
She's like,
Yeah.
who's this bitch in my territory?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think it might. I used to think it was a demon, but I've been thinking about it recently, and I think it might have been some type of poltergeist, because I did research on the house, and my parents were basically the first to own this place, so there wasn't a chance that someone had died in it previously.
Doesn't need to, man.
And-
I lived in a new build that was haunted as shit. Like
Yeah.
my
Maybe something that happens at the property itself.
Yeah, like in the area.
ground that it's built on.
Yeah, but I was saying, I was thinking it was a poltergeist because my dad used to work construction, so it would literally just be my mom with 4 boys in the house. So I think just that energy fed into this entity.
And you guys, no one obviously lives there anymore. You guys have moved on from that house?
Yeah, we moved to South Carolina. That was actually in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah.
We lived there till I was about 10, and then we moved to South Carolina.
So it's an interesting one because part of me like, and when you say poltergeist, it really does I kind of forget the idea that a poltergeist can attach itself to anything. So it's like you could go to a fucking antique store, pick up a lamp, bring home, and then you're like, poltergeist, bitch. Like, yeah, where's your keys? So maybe it's something like that because it is a new build. Like, so maybe it's the ground, or you guys brought an object home that was, an antique of someone else who owned it, and it was something really important to them. And they, maybe that spirit was a motherly spirit or a mother in their life, and so maybe it just gave it some solace to kind of look after you boys, right? Because it doesn't sound terribly bad, like it had no ill intentions. It, like Andrew said, it was kind of caring, it seemed.
Yeah, so never buy anything from estate sales.
Yeah.
Don't go to Value Village anymore. Like nothing fucking second
Nothing.
hand.
Yeah. No,
Nothing.
you just got to purify it first, right?
Yeah.
Lane, thank you so much for calling in with that ghost story.
No problem.
Take care of yourself.
Do I get a guess at the what's in the
yes.
box?
Good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always forget, but thank you. Tell me send your mind to my studio and tell me what's in the box.
I'm seeing an ATT rap album.
Nope. That's not what's in the box.
Dang.
Excellent try. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry. You're welcome. Hung up a little premature. I said goodbye. Sorry, Lane. We love you. Thanks for calling in with Ghost Story.
Just spoiled our fucking album that's coming out this fall.
Yeah, we told you that in confidence. It's interesting because I wonder how many times like a haunted object or something has been brought into a home, and then people are like, I wonder we're all of a sudden getting haunted. What could it be?
Yeah, shouldn't have bought that monkey's paw.
Yeah. Well, how come one of the fingers are down?
Yeah.
Just like that, the lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. Lines are hot, baby. Lines are hot. If you're on hold, you have a 16-minute window before you get kicked off, so just recall and I'll get you on as soon as I can. Let's go to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Braden? This is Seth from Kentucky.
What's going on, Seth? How are you tonight?
Not much. Doing great, man. There's a lot of extra masculinity on the show tonight, I see.
Oh, yeah. Toxic.
Absolutely.
Some say toxic.
Keep it toxic, baby. Let's go.
So I'm maybe a little out of date. Is that the actual gym, or is that a green screen of the gym?
That's up to you to decide.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Ah.
Yeah, that's a good guess. You won't know until you see a second Andrew walk in the back.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get on Patreon, man. I've been meaning to do that. I think it's about time I hop on board,
Hey.
get a little extra info.
Yeah, that's where we reveal all the secrets.
The secret sauce.
Yeah.
I might have something kind of interesting for you guys tonight.
Let's hear it.
So, took a flight up a set of stairs in the woods. Thankful to report I'm still here.
Did you send us that picture recently? Was that you who sent that in?
The Facebook post?
Yeah.
Yep, that was me.
Okay. And those were actually stairs in the woods that you found?
100%, yep.
That is terrifying.
Tear them down.
Oh,
Get rid of them. Tear them down.
From a distance, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh no, this can't be real. This is not legit." And it was in fact legit. Unfortunately, it did not take me to the other side, although it seemed a little suspenseful from all the comments. But still here, but strange.
That is strange. I mean, people that don't know, there is a phenomenon, ghost stories and tales of seemingly haunted staircases in the middle of the woods.
Like with no foundation?
Nothing.
Underneath it? Like
just stairs.
what?
And people say that these are stairs to another dimensions. They're stairs to death doors, the stairways to heaven. There's all sorts of different theories and conspiracies on these things. And Seth here found a set. Was there any discernible like foundation or footings or anything, like maybe an old homestead?
There was nothing under it. However, I think I know what it was, and it may be a little bit more Occam's razor. I'll throw that out.
Well, that's fine. That makes us feel a lot better when you're like, this is what happened, and it's not ghosts.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, every time I call, I'm like, hey, guess what I found in the woods? And it's starting to escalate, and I'm hoping it doesn't get too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least the stairs are going up.
Me and my
not
buddy,
down.
we did some hiking to some old abandoned, what we come to find out was some sort of ruins in Appalachia and the Tennessee area that seemed to be some old coal processing plant, but this wasn't like at the same location. This was kind of off. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get some pictures, and I mean, we went up to it, but it was strange because there was nothing under it at all. And I'm like, huh, should I climb that? And my buddy's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So no weird voyages from the other side in that case. However, if you'd like to hear it, I may have a little sight from
Well,
a
hold on.
different experience. Yeah.
What do you think the stairs were? Why were there stairs? I need to know. Like, you were there.
Okay.
When you like,
What I think.
yeah. If I want a
stairs
reasonable,
was-
like, what your most plausible, reasonable answer is as to why there's a set of stairs with no foundation in the middle of the fucking woods.
Get rid of
And
it.
it's concrete, by the way, solid concrete. And
So you can't burn it?
I think Okay, so here's what I think it was.
If you said there was a great biblical flood that lifted these concrete stairs, I'm gonna hang up on you.
That's not what I'm gonna say. I believe what I found was the abandoned remnants of what used to be a belt line. A belt, like a
Okay.
conveyor belt line that
Yeah.
maybe transported things.
Yeah.
Because, I think, I've heard on the podcast you guys know a little bit about carpentry.
Yep.
I build houses by trade with a crew. I'm not any big smart guy or nothing, but it looked like they had laid 2x6s and then poured concrete and then laid more. Basically, to pour concrete, just laying a foundation to lock it in.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like. But from a distance, I was terrified because I couldn't see that.
Yeah.
Especially with all the vines and trees around it.
Well, it's still a terrifying thing. And was there other evidence around of that, like of a conveyor or anything?
Not there, but like I said, some distance away, there was a structure that used to be what seemed to be some sort of coal processing, and that's the only thing I
Okay,
could
so
figure. But I assure you, when I was walking through the woods and saw that, I stopped exactly where I was, and I was like, might be time to go.
Yeah, I mean that's terrifying. I mean, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's a weird thing, especially when you're there and you're like, wait a minute, why are these here? How did these get here? But the reasonable, logical thing would be that there, what you're telling me is that could be the case. We'll lean towards that. It is terrifying, and I mean, you can go down tons of Reddit, threads of what these stairs mean and what can happen if you climb them or go down them.
That was the creepy thing, is because I'm like, oh, this is all made up. This is nonsense, but it makes for a good story. And then I see it, and I'm like, watch my shoulders.
Yeah, you're like,
behind me.
You're like, that is creepy. This is in fact terrifying.
Yeah.
What else do you have for us, Seth?
So that was a story that did not take me to a different dimension or another world.
Well, so
But
you
I
say.
may have one. Go ahead.
I said, so you say. You don't know that for sure.
This is true. Very true. I mean, I could be in there right now.
You probably think we say Berenstein Bears. We don't.
Wait, what? Don't mess with me right now. Was it Luke, I am your father, or Luke, I'm your father? I need to know.
Who's Luke?
Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm coming, Aunt Teresa. No, I have an interesting experience, and I'll keep it brief. But I had a interesting medical issue where I had, and I'm going to keep it lighthearted because it is to me, I had heart failure once. And I saw some very interesting things while I was gone, and then I came back, which was pretty rad. I've not shared it publicly. I've never posted about it, anything like that, but I thought it might be an interesting topic, and I'd share it with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay, so essentially, my blood pressure had been up, heart rate was up. I'm going to skip over all the extra stuff. I'm sure Andrew knows plenty about all that. And decided to go check myself into the ER just to make sure things were okay. EKG's clear, blood sugar clear, not having a heart attack, nothing like that, but I just feel off. Anyway, nurse hooks me up. She's, running everything, popping the IV, everything like that. None of this stuff bothers me, I'm used to it. I used to be former corrections officer, so I've seen plenty of weird stuff, especially when you had to sit with them in the ambulance or the ER, so nothing out of the ordinary for me. And then all of a sudden I get this very strange feeling, and I don't know what possessed me to say it, but I looked over at the nurse and I said, I'm going to go now. And the next thing I know, it feels like time is moving really slow, and I'm just in a black room. And I don't even say black room. I feel like that's kind of an unintellectual way to put it for me in my experience. I was in nothingness, just the absolute abandonment of everything. It was very, very strange. It wasn't even space. It was just nothing there. And I'm not putting this in any sort of context. I'll let the viewers decide what they think, because I don't want to get into religious spills or anything like that. But all of a sudden, there was a very interesting light. But I say light, just like I said, darkness, and that doesn't really make sense either. So the best way I know how to describe it was, when you're a kid and you spray the water hose and you kind of see the rainbow color? It was like I saw that, but it was the brightest thing that I had ever saw, and it was every single color that my eyes could perceive and then some, and it was like just overtaking all of the darkness. It was very strange, and I was like going towards it. And I think this may be where some people get the idea of the, long dark tunnel and light kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was interesting, but I'm a guy that needs to see things. Not that I necessarily wanted to see it like this, but that's kind of what it felt like. And so I'm like, what is going on? And then I was like, I don't know if I was necessarily getting pulled towards it or it was overtaking things. But then all of a sudden the brakes pumped. And what I mean by that is, sometimes your friends are like messing with you in the car and they just tap the brakes really hard and kind of jerk you forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that happened. Or, you're causing a scene in the back of the bus and the driver decides to remind you that he's in control of the vehicle.
Were you getting hit with defibrillators?
So, well, that's gonna so. Did you have like a syncopal episode, or did you go into cardiac arrest? Like, what's?
No cardiac arrest, and no episode. This is where it gets strange, but I'll get to that in a moment because I do want to keep it kind of brief and not take up too much time.
We got questions.
Yeah, we got
buckle up.
Yeah,
that's fine, man. I'll answer them. And so it's like I'm on a pulley system, and the brakes pump, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. And when they pump, I get jerked backwards, and then I go forward again. I get closer to this like engulfing every color in the world. And it's just getting brighter and brighter. Then the brakes pump again, and I'm jerked back again. And I remember this so vividly. And one of the reasons I remember this is because as soon as it happened, I made sure to tell, people that was very close to me. And it just happened in March of last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very recent. The third time it happened, I went forward, it's like my buddies hit the brakes, messing with you or whatever it is, and then I got jerked like really hard, like it felt physical. And then all of a sudden, I'm awake, but I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. At the time, I had let my parents know what was going on, so they were there. I saw their faces. I didn't know who they were. And of course, I was in the ER. There's like 8 to 10 doctors around me. And I just saw a guy in blue. I can't hear what he's saying. My senses are coming back at this point. But the wildest thing, and I have a couple theories on this I'll get to, as well as I'd love to hear yours, and Andrew's, particularly with his expertise, or his friend's expertise, excuse me. I had a immense feeling of euphoria. And then as my senses came back to me, it's like as my hearing, my sight, my sense of where I am and what's going on, the more that came back, the more the euphoria was leaving me. And I think this is an interesting topic that, Zell would probably like some of my theories on this because it kind of goes into the pineal gland and things like that. But I just came back, and I looked up at the medical staff, the nurse that was taking care of me, and she was obviously in a panic because, I know now from speaking to them, I was perfectly fine, vitals were normal, blood pressure was up, and my heart rate was up a little bit. But I get a little white coat. No one wants to be sitting in the ER. That's just not fun for anyone, right? you know, the situation that kind of happened is she was a smaller lady and I'm like 6'4", so she couldn't actually like get me down to work on me because everything looked fine. So she slams the panic button, blah blah blah. I come back, I'm there. EKG me again, do tons of tests, tilt table. I've seen 2 specialists since then. No one can give me an answer other than one guy, a specialist. Of course, you know, we have the electricians and the plumbers for the heart and the brain. Kind of agreed with me on a theory that thought it may be a vagal system response, a vagal nervous system response. But that necessarily, and I don't want to get into all the medical stuff. I'll let you guys kind of go into that. But I thought what was very interesting was I was gone, and I actually saw things that I cannot describe other than what I've just told you. And now I'm back. And it was wild, and I don't want to, you know, say one way or the other, science, religion, DMT drop into my mind to ease passing. I'm not sure, you know, I don't want to go down that road, but I saw some things, and it was wild.
The only question that piques my interest that I really want to know is, before you saw the light and you were in the abyss or just the nothingness, what was that part like? Was it peaceful? Were you scared? Or just an indifference?
The best way I know how to describe it, or the entire thing, okay, I'll get to what you said. Throwing out a quick detail, the entire thing occurring felt like 10,000 years. It felt like I was gone literally for 10,000 years. Gandalf the Grey has fallen, and now returns Gandalf the White. He says his line about, oh, it's been so many, you know, thousands of years or whatever. It really did feel like it felt like I was there forever. It was very strange. But then in the nothingness that you just specifically asked about, it felt like I wasn't on my own 2 feet. It felt like I was very much floating. And when the movement started to happen, it felt like I was being tugged almost from my chest or my stomach towards that direction. But it was like my senses didn't work. It's like I could see, but there was nothing to see. I could hear, but there was nothing to hear. It was interesting. I'll say that.
A question in the chat said, did you remember hearing anything? But I guess you just answered that. And did it change your view on dying?
I don't remember hearing anything in the nothingness part of that. In the part where the light began to envelop, or I was going towards, or it was coming to me, I don't know actually which one that was, because it was just kind of happening. It was like a high hertz, like I don't want to make the noise on because that's going to be awful for editing, but like a that was kind of getting like, I don't know, it was just like this weird pitch, a high pitch, that the closer I got, or the more close the light got to me, it was like it got louder, and then it would get less when I'd get away from it. So as far as my senses go, that I did hear that. It's strange to me of how vivid I can remember that. And I didn't want to really tell this for a while because, you know, who knows what happens when you're in a position like that. I didn't want to alert the dream police here, but I thought it might be interesting.
That's it. It is. Well, I mean, those are super interesting.
Well, yeah, like for a lot of reasons. Were you hooked up to the ECG when this happened? Were you being monitored?
Yeah. Yeah. So wait. No, sorry. They did not have me on the AED yet because they hadn't pulled it in there because they didn't think anything. But the EKG, yes, I was on the EKG.
So did they capture your heart rhythm when this happened? Because like you said, you mentioned a vasovagal response, which kind of makes sense, especially in the heightened stressful environment you are. Heart rate tanks, blood pressure tanks. You're not perfusing to your brain, so you have a syncopal episode. The interesting, the one thing you described, just basically you had impending doom, which is where you're like sitting there and you're like, oh, something's wrong. Something bad's going to happen, right? Like a lot of people have that, or they have, you know, a massive heart attack, strokes, that type of stuff. Super interesting. It's too bad hooked up to the ECG so we could see your heart rhythm and see if you became bradycardic and your blood pressure tanked. But
oh no, yes, the ECG.
It's interesting that you
I
described the sense of
euphoria. Yes, I was hooked up to that.
Sorry, you said you were hooked up to that? I think we just
I misunderstood it. The service got a little weird here. I was trying to like listen in and read the chat to keep up. But yeah, I was fully hooked up. It wasn't just like I walked into the ER and they were like, oh, haha, what's nothing. I mean, they'd EKG me, they'd done a full hookup. My blood pressure was being monitored. I mean, I was.
But they
I was
didn't capture like
So,
they weren't doing the EKG when it happened. Is what I'm saying. Like it would have been nice to have a shot of your heart in that state, because if you would have had a vagal response, it would have been indicative on your ECG, right? We would have known that. Yeah, for sure.
They
but
hit me
that's
with the
yeah, but
EKG twice prior, and they said everything was completely level. Of course, check sugars, the basic stuff. And so they didn't have me on that at the time. I think they were going to look into other things.
It's interesting. Yeah, no, like a vasovagal response could most definitely have happened, but like everything you're describing is like the sound. Like you could have also had an arrhythmia, right? A heart arrhythmia, and we would have never know that if you weren't hooked up to the ECG, right? Sometimes your blood work will show your troponin levels, which is basically indicative of like muscle death, to prove that you've had a heart attack. But like people have these arrhythmias every day that don't get caught, and they'll faint just like that. They'll drop, and you don't know why. It's super interesting. But like you basically could have went into like a ventricular tachycardia, and just basically your heart almost stopped for a second, and you literally were on death's door, and then whatever happened that kickstarted your heart and started beating again in a normal rhythm.
Yeah, whatever happened between realms there.
Yeah, the interesting tidbit about it, part of the conversation, was the nurse had told me, you know, I asked her when I came back, I said, please let me know what happened. And she looked at the doctor, she said something, and I said, look, you can tell me, you know, I've seen things happen before, and, you know, told her my prior profession. And I'm like, how long was I gone? And she was like, about almost 10 seconds, right at 10 seconds.
And when she says gone, we're positive that you were unconscious. Like you didn't go into cardiac arrest. Like your heart didn't stop beating at any point.
Okay, so everything I was hooked up to, everything was fine, blah, 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 and then straight flatline.
So you went,
heart straight.
Yeah, you went into cardiac arrest, brother. You died in 10 seconds.
You did.
You died, brother.
You went. You
That's
did.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that. That's what I'm telling you. They told me I died.
Yeah, you died.
Yeah,
you died. Buddy,
dude.
You've been to the other side and back to tell the tale.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was trying to skip out on the medical stuff. Maybe I left out there. But yeah, full heart failure, 9.21 seconds.
Jesus.
Wow. Holy shit, brother.
And
wild.
That's why they obviously panic button. The nurse said she lost someone earlier in the day for 2 seconds. They never come back.
You didn't like. This is totally personal. Don't answer it if you don't want to. But did you leave with any kind of diagnosis? Like with what brought you into the hospital to begin with?
Okay, I don't mind to speak personally. What brought me to the hospital to begin with was I have high blood pressure. It's genetic. I do what I can to control it. I'm on medication. I take my medication. I try and eat and diet, go to the gym. Obviously, I'm up hiking in the woods all the time for exercise, trying to find wendigos.
Doing stairs?
Yeah, doing the stairs. Doing the ghost stairs.
Yeah. Well, my thought on that was like, damn, boys, the heart failure couldn't do it. Let me go looking for some stairs.
Yeah.
But no, it was like 9.21 seconds, straight failure. I've seen, of course, a bunch of specialists since then, some in the hospital, 3 others afterwards. They've run plenty of tests, checked everything, more tests, poked and prodded. And everyone, the only thing I got from every specialist I have saw, and trust me, I went to some of the best, because when this happened, I just turned 33. So,
young,
young
to be having arrhythmias.
Yeah. Don't drink soda, just try to be healthy as possible. Everyone just told me, it's like, man, you're a miracle. Be happy about it. And the one guy who said something otherwise was, possible vagal response.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense in this situation, given the stress and everything that I'm sure you were involved in, but something brought you into the hospital to begin with, right? Like that's the reason. You weren't there.
It was, my blood pressure had been running a little higher than it should have. And normally the medication brings it down, but it had been elevated for like 2 days in a row. So I'm not necessarily like doubting what brought me in or questioning that. Like, I understand that completely. I guess the meat and potatoes of the story I wanted to tell was that, I don't know exactly what it was, but I saw something.
Wild.
Seth,
Yeah, that's
thank you
wild,
you
brother.
so much for calling in and sharing that personal story. And I hope if anyone else has had a near-death experience, I would love to hear their experience of touching the other side, just to see if there's similarities with the one you just shared. So
Yeah, and I also always, you always hear stories about people seeing the big lights along end of the tunnel and all these different things. It's so strange to me because I'm an Occam's razor guy. But you hear all these stories and you hear them, and you're like, they don't. Who knows? Who knows what's actually back there? And then you see something that's kind of similar, and you're like, oh,
Shit.
okay, maybe there is a little substance here,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that. Longtime friend of the show. We love your stories, so thank you so much.
Yeah, man, appreciate you guys hearing it. And if anybody else has anything, hope this is had anything like that happen to them. Hope this can kind of help them out, give them a little peace.
All right, man. Take care of yourself. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Woo.
Wild.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if
touching the other side.
If only we had him for our near-death experience episode, that would have been a little better.
Well, the three guys who've never died.
Yeah. Well, the one person we did have on was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The one I forgot about her.
Yeah. You cut her out, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did. Yes. Those of you donating to chat, I see you, Chango. I see you, Hillbilly, Bandito. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I don't know what's going on with my little bar here. It's not working. I must have done something wrong. But I know we got other calls on the line. So just like that, the lines are back open. 1-833-703-0424. Someone just called and hang up. Call back. I don't know if you just got disconnected. The lines are open, but having the stairs first off, terrifying. That would have sent me into cardiac arrest itself.
Listen, what's that fucking Final Destination? They're trying to bring them back.
Yeah,
they just planted the stairs there, buddy. Just take a walk up these. It's no big deal.
It's the near death one is strange though too, because it's that. We'll get into it after the show. Callers take priority. We got a caller on the line. Let's go right to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Pyrodor from Florida.
Pyrodor, what's going on? Yeah, that sounds like a good Florida man name.
It's like a Pokemon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just out there torching the
All right.
place. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, I got kind of a paranormal, just weird shit kind of story.
Let's hear it.
So I just moved to Florida not long ago, like middle of last year. Before that, I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
And North Jersey, right? And there's this road. You can look it up. It's called Clinton Road. It's supposedly haunted, and I lived like 10 minutes away from it. So me and my buddies would always, go there, hang around, goof off, mess with each other, with the ghost stories and stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, there's like a lot of weird shit that goes on there. There's supposedly a girl who died on the bridge there on the curve. It's called Dead Man's Curve, and that's just a fucked curve, man. There's a lot of weird stories there. But yeah, anyway, one day me and my buddies were over there goofing off on a weekend or something, and we just hang out by the bridge. We decided to go home, and behind us on the way back, oh my bad, on the way back we saw like headlights behind us. So like there's a car following us, and you hear these stories about the phantom like truck headlights. But I saw it, and they just kind of vanish, man. There's nowhere to turn off on that road. It's just like the middle of the forest. They kind of vanish, man.
It's
we went.
I just quickly pulled it up. Yeah, they call it it's the most haunted spot in all of New Jersey is Clinton Road.
Considering the mob activity in North Jersey, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
What was that?
So this is I'm just looking at it. I'm just quickly looking at the, what it's saying about this. It's like that is the most frequently reported phenomenon on that road is phantom headlights that seemingly disappear.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a real thing.
How close to your vehicle did it get?
Like it was following them behind us, like at a normal distance, like how a car like not close to us, like not riding our bumper or anything, but it was there, and all of a sudden, just poof, there was a straight stretch of road, and it just wasn't there anymore. There's nowhere they could turn off to or anything. You just look behind us, and there's gone.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're saying like there's a ghost. A legend is there's a ghost of a young boy that dwells beneath the bridge on Clinton Road, and I'm just quickly looking at some of the things. They're saying that like cars, I guess, in that Dead Man's Corner have gone off into the reservoir and died. So maybe they're saying that's
like the main.
Yeah, that's why they.
Yeah, that's like the main story, that the girl drove off the bridge and died. So now the bridge is like super fortified with like guardrails and stuff.
Yeah, so now you just die on
there's
impact.
Nowhere to go. Well, there's nowhere to go. The ghost is chasing you now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's so wild to like have this famous road and you've actually experienced that phenomenon there. Like, I would love to go and have that same experience. What did you like when you were driving it disappear? Like, how was the feeling of the car with you and your friend? Like, were you both rattled, or what was going on there?
Like, we were just driving, and obviously this car is behind us. We don't think much of it, and all of a sudden I know that I'm driving, my buddy's in the passenger seat, and I noticed that car's gone. I'm like, where the hell did that turn off? Because I know that road pretty well. I drive down it pretty frequently, and there's nowhere to turn off. They're just gone. I don't know where they went.
Now, what are your thoughts? What do you like? Do you think there's a ghost? Do you think there's some kind of light phenomenon? What are your thoughts on it, having experienced it?
Personally, I'm not like a really big paranormal type of person. I don't really believe in a lot of that stuff, but like I couldn't explain it,
Yeah, brother, you had a paranormal experience. For someone who doesn't believe it, you've had an amazing paranormal experience that is logged by a lot of other people. So that's pretty rare in itself. So thank you so much for coming. Oh, of course. I mean, why you have to be, but there's so many reports of this same thing. I'm looking at the Clinton Road stuff. I'm like, it's so wild.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's all sorts of other stories there. Like there's like this castle in the woods on hiking trail off the road. What? People going doing rituals there. All sorts of weird shit.
Yeah,
and this is all like
creepy.
Knowledge around now. Like the talk of the town, pretty much.
Is it like cult stuff, or like what's the kind of the lore or the rumors around? Is it cult? Is it Satanists? What do they say that who's doing these things?
There's a lot of people saying different things, but the one I heard most is that they call it the KKK castle. So the KKK members would go over there and do whatever they do over there.
Yeah.
But that's
bad juju there.
So
yeah.
I've heard all.
So maybe a white supremacist
ghost.
Ghost hang.
I mean, they got the outfits are perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
right? They already look like ghosts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pyrodor, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that. I hope anyone else who's been in New Jersey, if you're listening to this and you've been on Clinton Road and you've had an experience, call in and share it. I want to hear it. I want to start hearing these similarities of these stories. So thank you so much for calling in and sharing it.
Yeah, of course.
Now, before you go,
I'll see you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
hold on. Before you go, do you want to take a stab at what's in the box?
Ooh, what's in the box?
Send your mind to it.
I'm transporting my mind. A pair of socks.
You transported your mind to the wrong place, brother. Have a good night. Take care of yourself.
See you guys.
Bye.
Take it easy, buddy.
It's weird because I'm like, when people say that, like, oh, this spot's famous, I always like quickly Google it. And I'm like, this is legit. Like, they say it's the most
Super
haunted.
famous.
Yeah, super famous. They say it's the most haunted spot in the state. Hundreds of reports of these phantom lights and a bunch of other stuff. A drowned boy and lights that seemingly chase people. Like, terrifying. Let's go. Lines back open. 1-833-703-0424. Lines have just been popping up. This is probably going to be the last call of the night, at least the last call for Andrew. But let's bring him on. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, long-time listener, 15th time caller.
Is this John Jacoby?
It might be.
What's
I don't know.
What's going on, brother? How's it going?
Hey, I just want to let you know, dolphins are mammals, okay? Best of both worlds.
All right. Andrew, you got to go, right? You had an hour?
Had an hour.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? I'll take a couple more calls. So if you're on the line, just hold on. We're going to say goodbye to Andrew, and then I'll bring the show right back, and I'll take a couple extra calls. Just stand by. We'll be right back. Andrew's still there. That's weird. We're back. The lines are back open. Listen, I'll take two more. I got time to take two more calls before we take it into a shareholder meeting. Andrew said he'd give me a hard hour. You know, kept him a little late, but I'm going to play a fan submission, and I'll keep the lines open just in case we get one more call. If not, we're going to finish it tonight on a fan submission. The lines are open, and I'm going to send you. I don't even know who's reading this one. Let's go to them.
Hey guys, it's Drea. Let's jump right on into this one. Dear Cosmic Channels, so my friend and I were out last night hanging out at this place called Suicide Bridge. It's supposed to be haunted. We started walking down the trail in the pitch dark with my phone light and his flashlight, which was pretty spooky. We turned down this road to go look at an abandoned house and got a bit creeped out, so we turned around and went down this other trail, which was a stupid choice. We walked about 200 feet or so down this trail to a fishing jetty. We were shining our lights around the edge of the water when my flashlight hit a set of eyes. I told my friend to come look at it, so now we have both lights on, but we still can't see a body. The eyes were like a cat's and glowed when the light hit them. After about 45 seconds of looking at them, my friend barked at it, hoping to get a reaction, but it didn't even blink. Nothing. It just stood there, and from what we could tell by where the eyes were at and the edge of the water, it had to be about 6 feet or so. We looked at the eyes, which were focused on us for about a minute and a half, and then we looked at each other and thought, let's get the fuck out of here. So we started to speed walk because the feeling we both had in our chest was to get the hell out of there. We were speed walking at Olympic speed with how fast we were moving. When we turned the corner to head back to the truck, we were searching the weeds to make sure it didn't follow us. Then my flashlight hit its eyes again, and I said to my friend, run! So we booked it back to the truck, got in, and took off. When we were a good distance away, he said he had seen the eyes on his side of the trail. We were speed walking the hell out of there. When we got back to his place, we started trying to replicate the eyes with rocks based on how far apart they were to get a good judge of size. The eyes were about 10 inches apart. This all happened in a park in Waterloo, Iowa called George Wythe Park. I've never been more terrified in my life. If there are any questions, let me know. This happened on 7/25/2017. The eyes of this image of the rake are dead matched to what we saw. We just didn't see a body. Keep up the good work, PL. I want to see the image. And I've got questions. Hey guys. If you have a story, whether it's paranormal, aliens, if it's just a weird story, if you just want to go on and say, hey, Braden, what's up? Call. It's awesome to hear everybody's stories. If you don't want to, you're embarrassed, or you don't have time. Everybody knows how life is. And you want your story read, you want to share it, write it. Send it in. I mean, we would love to hear it. And you never know. You never know who's going to read it. I mean, even if you don't feel comfortable, just type it out, send it in, email it to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and you never know who's going to read it. It could be just any random person. It could be me. Who knows? Well, we would love to hear it regardless.
Listen, if you want your story read, you're too nervous to call in, you can always write into Cosmic Channels podcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a surprise person who reads a fan submission, reach out to me on Discord or Instagram or social media. Just let me know that you want to read a fan submission. I have about 50 in the bank still to be read. So, and if you're being like, hey, I messaged you, you haven't got back to me, you're on the list. I'm working my way down it. I can only do so much at a time. Huge thank you to everyone supporting the show. We've working on getting the ad campaign up and running that we fundraised for last week. I'm going to run some social media ads, hopefully at the same time. I don't know why this bar is not working, but I saw everyone's donations. Chango, Hillbilly, if I forgot anyone else, I'll make sure to give you a shout out at the next live stream. We also had donations from Bandito, Fire Vinyl, and Julissa. Julissa is climbing, like a constant supporter of the show. And Julissa, I know you got a story. That you want to share, and you're just waiting to share it. So hopefully one of these weeks we can get you on to share a story. I know you got one. Can't be listening this long and you don't have a story. Anyways, I'm going to take it over to the shareholders meeting. Thank you all for supporting the show. And that's it for Cosmic Channels. The Cosmic Lines are now closed. We're back. Shareholders meeting. Yeah, I don't know why today this donation bar isn't working. So I saw donations, and don't worry, I go back through to make sure everyone's called out and properly acknowledged. The line's open, so if you want to if you got a tip or you got an idea to grow the show, you can give me a call, 1-833-703-0424. Yeah, I'm working on right now. Currently, I'm working on a Cosmic Channels ad. I've got to record an audio ad so I can, pay a promotion to have it play on previous shows. So I'm slowly cutting up some clips of people saying, "Hi, my name is this. I have this story." Phone ringers. And really, the callers and Andrew were quiet tonight. I think that has something to do with. I think that has something to do with having Andrew on the line. To be honest, I didn't see that early on, or else I would have tweaked it. I thought it was working, but it could have been something to do with Andrew. Cosmic Channel shareholders meeting. What's your name? What's going on?
Oh, hey man, I missed the live chat. I'm sorry. I had a quick ghost story to tell.
All right, let's do it. What's hold on. Because I'm gonna add this into the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend I'm answering the phone, and then answer it as if you're gonna tell your story. Okay.
All right, great.
All right,
Thanks, man.
All right, just stand by here. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Brian from San Diego.
What's going on, Brian? What do you got for us tonight?
Hey, I'm a huge fan. I can't believe I'm talking to you guys. This is awesome.
Right on, brother. Let's hear it.
Hey, just a quick ghost story. So, when my wife and I first got married, we lived below my in-laws. It was kind of like a duplex-style house. And this house has always been kind of sketchy. I would
That was weird. Brian? I don't know what happened there. I just lost Brian. And I got a weird beep. Brian, call back. I don't know what happened. I don't know why that got dropped. That was so weird. That's happened like once before. I don't know why. And I get a weird beep in my headphones. I'm not sure why. So Brian, maybe there's no time limit. I have no time limit. Oh, weird. All my fucking devices got all fucked up with this. How did this happen? Prepare your ears. Okay, everything's working. Everything's back working, Brian. There we go. If this is Brian, I'm going to re-answer. We can just... Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Brian from San Diego. I think I just got cut off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I had some weird buzz, and then you were gone. You're calling about a ghost story.
Where did I leave off?
Just kick it right from the start, because we got cut off instantly.
Hey. All right, Braden, I'm a huge fan of you guys. It's awesome to be talking to you.
Right on, brother.
So, my wife and I were newly married. We were staying in my in-laws' house, which is kind of like a duplex. The top half is where they lived. The bottom half is where we lived. So it was kind of a spooky house. Weird things would happen as my wife and I were dating, and they just like, yeah, it's kind of a weird house. So we're married. The in-laws are on vacation. We're on the lower level. Their house is locked up. And about 3 in the morning, of course, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
My newly wife and I were startled awake by the sound of the door opening. And we're like, well, what the fuck? That's crazy. It was locked. So we're both laying in bed. We look up and we hear heavy boot steps. Boom, boom, boom. Going across the floor over our heads. And we're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. There's someone in the house. Oh shit. I grabbed something probably like a bat or a knife or something. I don't even remember. This was over 10 years ago. I was like, well, I gotta go check it out. She's like, okay, well, I got the phone. So I run up there. The door, which was locked, was wide open. I run into the house, and there's nothing there. Nobody. We're just both freaked out. I even yelled like, hey, I've got a gun, to try to scare the person. I thought there was an intruder.
Yeah.
But this door that had been locked was now wide open. I run into the house, nothing there, nobody there. I check the house, it's all gone. There's no way anyone could have opened that door, or there was no sign of breaking it open, nothing. Something or something clearly opened the door, walked in. We both heard heavy boot steps going over our heads, and there was just nothing fucking in the house. We were freaked out. My wife had heard me yell from down below, hey, I've got a gun. So she's about to call the police. There's no way to explain it. Something opened a locked door, made heavy boot thumps over our heads as we looked up, and then vanished.
So the door was unlocked upstairs?
Yeah. Something had opened the door, a dead-bolted lock, and it clearly went into the house. And I went up there and checked the house. There was fucking nothing.
And there's no other doggy door on another door that someone could have escaped?
Nothing like that at all. There is no explanation.
Dude, how do you go back to bed after that?
We didn't.
Yeah.
We were both freaked the fuck out the rest of the night. I've always loved this kind of stuff. I've always been a believer of all of this. But my wife has always been the total opposite. And after that day, she's like, yeah, she had to admit something weird happened. So something opened that door, made the heavy boot steps, and then disappeared into the house.
That's
crazy.
Well,
no explanation.
Because I'm like, let's just say someone unlocked the deadbolt somehow, picked the lock, right? Let's go. This is a person that did this. Let's just go. Let's go with that. Let's walk. Yeah, let's walk through that. They pick the lock. They open it. They go stomping in. They hear you. You feel like you would hear them stomp out or book it out,
or find some way out. Something.
Yeah.
But there would be no way for them to bail. Nothing. And it's the one ghost story that my wife and I have told to people over the years because there's no explanation.
Have you had any other experiences there? Like, have the in-laws ever said anything?
So, before we were married, and that was just, my in-laws' house, my wife and I were dating, I would go in there and, hang out on the couch, and there'd always be you'd get the feeling that somebody was watching from upstairs, and you'd look up the stairs, and there'd be nothing. And everyone in the house is like, yeah, I mean, that kind of happens. It's just kind of a weird house. And something is going on there, but there's just no explanation. My new wife and I both clearly heard footsteps over our heads, somebody walking into that place. And by the time I ran up there to investigate with my fucking whatever baseball bat or whatever, I don't know what I was planning on doing.
Yeah.
But nothing. There's no way they could have got out. No
That's so
explanation.
creepy.
Creepy, bro.
And you guys you don't still live there, do you?
No. We moved out. The in-laws moved out. That house is actually still around the corner from where I live now. And
you know what I'm gonna ask you to do, right? You know what I'm gonna ask you to do.
Yeah, nothing followed me, man.
No, you gotta go.
I think it's just that house.
You should go and ask the people who live there now. Be like, hey, I had a weird experience living in this house years ago, and I'm just curious if you guys have any weird experiences. You don't have to lead them or anything, but just shoot them a message. Shoot them a message, right? And be like, hey, I just had a question. I used to live here. For my own curiosity, and let me know, because I'd be so curious if there's anything weird. And they're like, yeah, we hear ghost footprints sometimes. And you're like, shit, me too. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I should do that, man.
Thank you so much for.
I'm scared to go back to that place. It's been years since I've been around there. But,
yeah, that's the other thing. If it's, you always run the risk of maybe this thing remembers you and now follows you home.
Yeah.
It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. It was just a quick ghost story.
Beautiful, man.
I'm a huge fan. I've always wanted to call in. You guys are my favorite podcast.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a chance to call in.
Yeah, man.
And take care of yourself. And hopefully this sparks some more ghost footprints calls from people.
Yeah. All right, Braden.
All right, take care of yourself.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye.
I mean, I don't always in shareholders meeting get a story, but I think I've got to, when I move into the shareholders meetings from now on, because I want the content and I don't want someone to call in and then not call back again because they're like, I just don't want to. So I think it's more important that I take the story. But back into the shareholders meeting, I don't know. Oh, all of a sudden now some of the donations came through on the bar. It's so weird. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's connected to one account, not others. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. So the audio was good. I'm seeing in the chat. That means, and this is good to know, when I have a guest on, something gets fucked online because I didn't touch anything with the audio. Not a thing. Audio stayed the same. So that means when I have Andrew on, there's some sort of interference. So I'll have to remember that to pump the audio going on. Let's check the numbers. Looking at, we've had some consistent growth. I mean, the best week still was when we were running all the social media ads. That was definitely our best week for Cosmic Channels. This week is, oh my God. In record time, today's episode that was released today is the biggest single day download. It's currently beating by 1, but that's still the earliest it's ever been. So thank you to everyone who's listening to the show. I know Patreon people get it a little earlier, but it does help the algorithms if you're listening, or just let it play through on the Spotify, Cosmic Channel Spotify, or the Cosmic Channels iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. The other thing is, YouTube, the YouTube Cosmic Channels. I want to switch over because with our restream package that we were able to fundraise and pay for, I can stream to 5 places. And right now, for numbers wise, I'm streaming to Cosmic Channels Instagram, Cosmic Channels YouTube, Alien Theorists Theorizing YouTube, Alien Theorists Theorizing Facebook, and Cosmic Channels Facebook. But what I would like to do is I'm doing that because the ATT channels bring bigger numbers. So if you're watching the show on any Alien Theorist Theorizing feed, just slowly switch over to Cosmic Channels and start watching there, because I want to grow those, because eventually what I would like to do is that I'd like to eliminate the not ATT Facebook, Cosmic Channels Twitch. So we're only on, I think, one Alien Theorist thing, and that's, or 2. No, just one. Just the YouTube. But I would like to eventually eliminate that to then do a Kick or another streaming platform, so we can kind of spreading the show. If you're watching it live, the best place to watch it live is probably the Cosmic Channels YouTube or the Cosmic Channels Twitch. But the best for the show right now would be for you, anyone who's watching and listening, is to watch on the Cosmic Channels YouTube page, because we need to get up to 1,000 watch hours so that we can monetize that channel. Because right now, when we get super chat donations, they're technically going through the Alien Theorists Theorizing YouTube channel, which it's all good. I just have to do some math and stuff at the end of the month when those come through. But I don't, because this stupid bar isn't working, I think we're almost at social media ad goal. I think today, if I have to look, we're pretty close. So what my idea is, once I have this ad ready to go, I'm going to run social media ads as well as the $500 ad campaign across some social media networks. And hopefully we see a good rise. And you know what? And to be honest, we're going to be able to tell when we run those two at the same time where the money's better spent. That's probably the next logical step. It's just growing the show. That's what every week we're trying to grow this thing. The line's still open, so if anyone wants to call in, you have a tip or something you'd like to change. Big Theory Productions it's not the wrong YouTube, but Cosmic Channels has its own YouTube. Go to that one. We can't do super chat donations through there yet because we need 1,000 logged watch hours. And I'll tell you guys where we're at right now. We are at Cosmic Channels. Let's see here. We're at 100. So we got 900 more watch hours to go. So just if you're easy, cheapest way to help the show, just go on Cosmic Channels YouTube, let a couple of our videos play through. Just let them play through, get those watch hours up. As soon as we hit 1,000 hours, I'm going to switch the feed over permanently and stop streaming on the Big Theory Productions Alien Theorist channel and go strictly to Cosmic Channels, just to keep it kind of, its own entity. I don't know why I can't see comments. I don't know what the hell is going on here. 10-4. We're watching live. Which would be the best for it? Yeah, the Twitch. But I would say the YouTube right now is the best one to do that on. Other than that, I'm going to end this season pretty soon. I'm now at a point where the only other thing is we have a fan of the show who I'm also a fan of their artwork, I'm talking with them right now to make me some custom backgrounds and stuff for Cosmic Channels. That'll be really cool. 2K high definition images that I'm going to start using in season 8. The other, so that I think will be cool to just give it a little better feel. So that way, when I, close my face here, and it'll still be a full solid image, it just gives me the options to fade in and fade out of this cool image. So they're all going to be, he does really cool, like spacey but they have like a spooky vibe. I think it really. I'll shoot his profile in Discord so you guys can kind of see. So I think it would be a cool thing. Anything else? I forgot to guess what's in the box. Was it 3D print? No, I'm not telling anyone. The box is gonna sit there. It's something cool, but I won't. Yes, DOD. Do Twitch donations help? I mean, they don't hurt. It all goes to the show. To be honest, you know what's funny? I actually don't. Let me check, because I don't actually think I get I'm not sure if I get notifications. Let me check here. How do I do this? Creator dashboard? Every Thursday, Cosmic Channels. I don't even know where to check on Twitch. Anyone know? I don't really use Twitch that much. Shoot. I just realized I'm like, I don't even know if someone donated on Twitch where I would see it. Yeah, Cosmic Channels has its own YouTube. So if you type in it's at Cosmic Channels on YouTube. One word. Or you can search Cosmic Channels. And you'll see it has the Cosmic Channels logo. And you should be able to see it. I know the reason Big Theory pops up is because Big Theory is a more popular channel, and because I stream to both places. So when you punch it in, it'll show you the most popular one, and I have to ignore copyright strikes from Cosmic Channels every time I double the post, but it's all good. But any other ideas? So here's my plan. I think next Thursday is going to be the season finale of season 7 of Cosmic Channels. I'm going to, on Sunday, March 3rd, I just got to figure out the time difference. On Sunday, March 3rd, I'm going to record a special Cosmic Channels in the morning for like UK listeners in that area. I'm going to figure out the time I need to be on. Where's my world clock? So what time is it in? Should I just go England? Probably England, eh? Let me look at that. England. So what time in the morning do I have to wake up to do something good for the people of England? Great Britain. Is it Great Britain? What do I type here? I think England. Easter Island. No, so it's probably under Great Britain. London? What's London. There we go. London, England. So it's 3. So it's plus 8 hours. So if I could record at noon on Sunday, right? No. So I could record at probably like 10 in the morning. That's probably a good time, right? Sunday night. That makes sense? Yeah? 13? No, I think it's 8 hours ahead. Plus 8 hours, London. Yeah, Cosmic Channels the Cosmic Channels nooner. Tea and biscuits episode. Just because I know there's some UK people that have messaged me and said it's Australia actually doesn't have that bad of a time calling in because it's middle of the day for them. But UK has been like, I'd love to call in. I can't stay up that late. So I think that, and I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to come turn on I'm just fishing for calls, and I'll edit them into episodes later. So if I have to sit here for 2 hours to get 3 calls, I'll do that. I'll get other stuff going on. And then I think I haven't decided if I'm going to just kick off season 8 right away, March 7th, and just keep rolling. Just because I've been growing, the show's been constantly growing, and I just want to get the show I just want to keep growing the show. So, but I do want to make some tweaks. And I feel like I'm at a good stopping point for season 7. So I think that's the plan. And listen, plans are up to change instantly. And at the whim of anything, I feel like at the time. But that's what I'm thinking, because I want to make a couple changes. I want to do some new graphics. I want to do a new logo here other than this one. So if anyone has fan art or anything they want to send in, now's the time, because I'm looking to change up a couple things. But I'm going to move this over to Discord. So again, two things I wanted to... I need help with. I need to write an ad for Cosmic Channel. So what I'm thinking right now is just the phone ringing, and then going and be like, "Hi, I'm John Jacoby. I got a ghost story," and then it'd be like, "Bring, I'm Brienne from Victoria. I've got a UFO story. I've got this. I got this story," and then maybe just a couple of clips, and then at the end I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Braden, the host of Cosmic Channels. This is a call-in show where we take all your calls about paranormal, ghost stories, cryptids, yada, 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 every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1-833-703-0424, and we are available every Thursday at 3:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, anywhere you get your podcast." Something like that. Let me know what you think in Discord. If you want to send in some fan art, Gmail. No, here's the thing, Invalid ID. I haven't written shit. I'm just a really, really, really good bullshitter off the top of my head. So that's just in my head right now. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I need input. I do have a marketing diploma. No big deal. The other thing I just want to check before someone said something I wanted to address before I go. John Jacoby, yes, editing your calls out. It's usually a go-to. Asking Neil said he got a hold of Cosmic Channels nooner, 5 a.m. Okay, there was one other thing I want to say, but I can't remember. Anyways, we're gonna go to Discord. I gotta go eat some food for tonight. Oh, fan art. That's where it is. CosmicChannelsPodcast at gmail.com. Send it to me there. I'm just looking to update. Maybe the Cosmic Channel thing. I mean, that's just been, we had, and her name is alluding me to a lovely artist make this for us years ago. It's not outdated. I love it. I just want to kick off season 8, and I want to kind of keep, this show's kind of evolved. I feel like it's evolving in a cool place, and I really like where it's going. CosmicChannelsPodcast at gmail.com. And then the other thing is, if you're a musician, or you do music, or you do beats, or you do original stuff, if you want to make me some spooky ambient music to use on the show, I need like 10-minute loops of spooky ambient music to play on the show. So if you know an artist, or you have a friend that's does music, or a composer or something, and they want their stuff featured, I have no problem putting everything, music by this person after any show, whatever. But I'm just looking, because right now I really have what is called space ambient, which you hear. Okay, why isn't it working? Is this one that you hear all the time? And that's a 12-minute loop, which is nice, because usually people's stories go longer, so I can do it quicker. The other one I have is called Alien Cloud, but it's only like 2 minutes long. So then I always forget, and so I don't really have a lot of mix. So that's what I'm looking for the live stream. 2 of those things. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for helping Cosmic Channels grow. I really appreciate it. It's it's doing amazing. It's doing better than I expected. I never thought we'd have this many calls consistently this deep in. I was a little hesitant to do it weekly. I was hopeful, and so far it's exceeded all of my expectations. And that's all thanks to all of you. So thank you so much for supporting the show. And we'll see you next week at the season finale. I'll do a 2-hour stream next Thursday for the season finale. Take care of yourselves, and chat with me on Discord. Let me know what you think of the ad, or if you have any ideas. Peace.